Brethren, be strong in the Lord. The Apostle Paul tells us this in Ephesians chapter 6, and he also tells us to stand against the wiles of the devil. And he tells us to be properly attired. He says, put on the full armor of God, that you be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, that you won't find yourself beat up, frustrated, and defeated. So I thought about the wiles of the devil. I said, what are the wiles of the devil? And the first thing that came to me is simply the whole realm of temptation. How the devil comes and he tempts us, and his endeavor is to take us away from our spiritual reality, to understand that we are people who are of the Spirit, and we have the ability to walk in the Spirit and not in darkness or in the flesh or in the carnal man. But when the enemy comes, he brings things before us that's designed to be attractive to the carnal man and to the essential aspects of who we are, and to take our heart and our mind away from spiritual things to focus upon earthly, fleshly, sensual things. And so here comes the tempter, and he brings things before you that, it causes there to be the war of the mind. We see it, of course, the epistle of John says is that all that's in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, the pride of life, all of these things are aspects of the human element that the enemy uses to draw us away from the spiritual aspects of our lives, to allow ourselves to be caught up in the carnal man, and as a result of that, we find ourselves distant from God. And that's exactly the goal. That's what the devil is all about. He's all about distancing you from God. And he'll do that by, as the scripture says, that the devil is the accuser of the brethren. Well, basically, he's just going to tell you just how unworthy you are, and how that God doesn't have anything to do with you anymore because you have crossed the line. You have sinned and transgressed so much that God, even God, in all of his mercy, cannot forgive you. And we know that's a lie. But it's a lie that often hits the target, and people find themselves succumbed by that lie. And because they're now convinced that God has no more use for them, they just stop trying. And they just continue to walk in the carnal man, causing their burden to be heavier and heavier. And after a while, they're just distant from God. But the truth of the matter is that even in that state, God has not abandoned you. That's what you need to know. And that's what I, as the preacher of the gospel here on this radio airwaves, to tell you that God has not abandoned you. He loves you. He died on the cross for you. It's Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.